welcome back to the Uncool show. I am Dylan.
I'm Nathan.
And we're on episode 29. Crazy. And thank you for 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. That is also crazy, and we appreciate it. Today we are doing one of our favorite, I don't know if you'd call it a cult comedy.
I think maybe nowadays would be considered cult. I don't know. It's a very popular comedy.
Yeah, but we're doing Frank Oz directed Bowfinger, starring Steve Martin, Eddie Murphy in a dual role, Heather Graham, Jamie Kennedy, among others. And we're doing another comedy. We've been very comedy heavy lately, which is kind of a challenge for us. We were just talking about how it's kind of hard to pot about comedies, but they're so fun to watch. And Bowfinger is one of the most fun watches you can have, I think. Every time I watch it, I notice new things and remember little things that I've forgotten about. And this is just one of those comedies that it's not that old, but really stands the test of time, and I think it's going to continue to.
Almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
1999.
I guess it is.
It's almost their 30th anniversary.
I remember Gus showed me this for the first time years and years ago, and just instantly fell in love with it. Did he show both of us together?
I don't know if he showed it to both of us together. I have a distinct memory of watching it on TV with him.
Okay.
When he was over at our house.
Okay, I watched it over at their old house.
Yeah, so this was one that Gus keyed us in on. For
sure. Gus loves this movie. I think he has it as a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. And really just follows Bobby Bowfinger. That's where the title comes from, played by Steve Martin. He's like I don't even know if you could call him a B-movie filmmaker. He's like a C or a D.
He's like an aspiring filmmaker, and you see all throughout his office, he's worked these odd little industry jobs.
Yep.
He's trying to find his footing.
Really bad-looking movies, teaching acting classes for $7.50 a pop or something crazy like that. But Bobby, like you said, aspiring filmmaker, really wants to direct his first feature, and kind of out of nowhere, his accountant Ephraim brings what he calls a dynamite script to him in the form of Chubby Rain, and he begins a kind of a con, so to speak.
Yep.
Not just on Eddie Murphy's star in this movie called Kit Ramsey, but kind of on every friend he's ever had.
On his crew.
Yeah. He does a lot of lying and a lot of manipulating to get this movie made. But this is one of those roles from Martin that I keep coming back to. I mean, you and I love Steve Martin. I don't know how many people don't love Steve Martin. So you get Steve Martin and you get Eddie Murphy at the height of,
definitely.
or the tail end of the height of Murphy's huge comedy run.
It's almost like the 90s were a weird period for Murphy. It's almost like this is almost at his he's starting his ascension again.
Yeah.
Because after this he gets Shrek, he gets bigger comedies
Dr. Dolittle.
Daddy Daycare made his family, more family oriented movies where that was his bread and butter in the 2000s.
It's butter, baby.
It's butter. And this was, the tail end of the 90s, quite literally.
Yeah.
And it's the start of his ascension again after that cool period, early to mid 90s. And Steve Martin, I think for decades was kind of consistently there never on the fringe of the comedy and film world. He was always there and steady.
Yep.
Which is impressive.
He's a generational talent, and he's somebody who multiple generations of people, boomers, Gen Xers, Gen Zers, have seen in different forms and different iterations, and he always just keeps bringing it, and he brings it here as he I wouldn't call Bobby an unlikable character, but he's definitely pretty selfish and pretty narcissistic to a point of delusion. But it really works, especially against the rest of the cast and crew, and especially with his scenes with Eddie Murphy's Jiff, who we will get into. There's Kit and there's Jiff. But again, this directed by Frank Oz, as I briefly mentioned, who has a special place in our hearts for many different
Mm-hmm.
reasons, many different iterations of his career as well. To be honest with you,
One of the craziest careers I think of anyone in Hollywood,
yeah,
considering his history with the Muppets, with Yoda,
yep,
playing Fozzie Bear, Miss Piggy, and then directing like a couple of the greatest comedies of the last 50 years,
yep,
in my opinion.
for sure. He's a very special talent. He just seems like a great dude.
Hmm.
Genuinely, I love Frank Oz. I love his work, and this movie doesn't disappoint. To be honest with you, um, so yeah, the script comes in. The script is for an awful sci-fi picture entitled "Chubby Rain," in which aliens come down to Earth in raindrops, making them
Making them
chubby.
chubby.
And from there, he gets everybody to buy into that.
Hmm.
The self-serious actress, his kind of the dumb
Like
main
he's like
actor.
the hunk.
Yep.
He has a pretty face. He's nice to look at, but there's nothing going on there.
All of these filmmaking stereotypes, if you
Yes.
will.
Hmm.
You get Heather Graham as like the starlet coming off the bus, willing to do anything,
Hmm.
and then doing everything and everyone for for her shot at stardom. She's really great in this too. We were talking about her briefly.
Hmm.
Her career has really tailed off in an unfortunate way.
Yeah.
But every time I see her from when she was working a lot and making really important stuff, I'm always impressed with her. And she's really funny in this in her own way as well. Um, like I said, Eddie Murphy is playing two roles in this. One, the egomaniacal, super paranoid, super kind of removed from
Hmm.
reality, Kit Ramsey, and then Jiff, who is maybe one of the sweetest characters in comedy history, just
Hmm.
like a guy you really want to root for. And the dichotomy between the two Murphys and the dichotomy between Jiff and Bobby really works to this film's credit.
Hmm.
And to me, Jiff is the best character in this movie.
It's the best creation of the movie.
Yeah, he's just every time Jiff is on screen, and he doesn't really pop up until midway through, but every time Jiff is on screen, I don't know, I find myself smiling in like this
Every single time.
there's something very warm and loving and like dumb about
Hmm.
Jiff. Uh, and let's just talk about Murphy for a bit. In this, he
Hmm.
did a lot of these multiple role movies.
Yep.
Coming to America, Doctor Dolittle,
The Nutty Professor is probably the most
Nutty
famous example.
yeah. He doesn't have dual roles in Doctor Dolittle. He's just one. I always confuse those two.
I mean, a lot of those movies kind of blend in and out. Like Norbit's a big one.
Yes.
Not so popular nowadays. It's kind of a punchline in his career, but
Yeah.
this was something I think Murphy, obviously from an early age, was very interested in. Like at
Yeah.
like the peak of his star power in the late '80s with Coming to America and movies like Beverly Hills Cop, like that whole franchise, he was interested in this type of comedy, which is like other people in comedy have done this. I
Yeah.
can't like rattle off a bunch. I think like I know like Jerry Lewis was really big into this, and that's partly why I think Eddie Murphy's interested in the Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
those two roles. I think that it's obviously a strength of his. Like you may not totally dig Norbit, Nutty Professor, The Clumps, whatever. I haven't seen any of those
Most
films.
of them. Yeah.
I've
yeah.
seen clips and I've seen like famous moments, and he's undeniably talented. And
Well, he's a star.
he shapeshifts.
Yeah, for sure. And in this movie especially, he shapeshifts. In his vocal work, his like body posture, his facial work
Hmm.
is next to none. And especially as Jiff, he is just doing this weird squinty thing. He's got braces.
Different like smiles, because Kit and Jiff have different smiles. Like they have different ways of emoting.
Yep.
It's so like
It's
it sounds so
impressive.
like it sounds so like ridiculous to say this about like a broad comedy, but
Yeah.
it's such a great performance.
Yeah, it genuinely.
It's impressive.
It really is. If you haven't seen this, because this does seem to be one of those Eddie Murphy movies that, yeah, it made a lot of money and it was big at the time, but like you said, not very talked about in the long haul. you know?
Mm-mm.
He's known for Coming to America, Beverly Hills Cop, Daddy Daycare, and a lot of those other roles from earlier in his career. And this might be one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Eddie Murphy performances, other than Axel Foley. I think
Yeah.
he is just undeniable in this, like you said. And I don't know if there's been a better dual role ever put on screen. That's my proclamation for Bowfinger. I think Kit and Jiff are just unbelievably impressive to
Mm-hmm.
watch as a
Mm-hmm.
movie lover. And if you haven't seen this movie, I know it's a little early to say this, but you gotta get on Bowfinger. It's incredible. Eddie, he's starting to come back a little bit. He did.
I'm really happy he's coming back.
Me too. He's one of, if he might be a top 10 like American comedian of all time in terms of like film work
Mm-hmm.
and in
And
terms of like the money grossed.
and such an impressive career because obviously he gets to start with SNL and he's
Yep.
like a mega star. He
Yeah.
was on it for one season, I believe, and just absolutely murdered.
Yep.
I think that was one of the only seasons Lauren wasn't involved.
That's right. Yep.
But that cast wasn't good around Murphy, but Murphy elevated it all.
Yep.
And I believe his first movie was 48 Hours, which it's a 80s classic. It's a really good movie.
And he's really good in it as a film debut.
And then you get like Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America. I'm forgetting some. There's some I haven't even seen.
And then as a stand-up, Raw and
Exactly.
Raw and Delirious are commonly held as like some of the best stand-up specials of all time.
His short-lived music career,
Party All the Time. I've been genuinely listening to Party All the Time quite a bit lately, which came about because Prince I think it was either Prince. Yeah, I believe it was,
probably Prince.
I believe Prince kind of like jokingly was like, you can do this and do that. I bet you can't do music. So then he got in the studio and like got his #1 hit. Like that was everywhere for a bit.
He's like the jack of all trades. Like he can do everything.
Reminds me of, and I know Donald Glover was heavily influenced by Murphy. And you see these guys that can do stand-up, they can do music, they can do acting.
Yeah.
There's really nothing they can't do if they put their minds to it. And again, I know Donald was super into Eddie Murphy, and that's like a weird parallel with my life, with watching both of their careers. By the time I was born, Eddie was already megastar.
Yeah.
And then, growing up with Gus and Grandma and Mom, you see so much of his work. And there's still a lot of work from Eddie that I need to go back and either rewatch or see for the first time.
Me too.
And he's one of those performers that just keeps on giving and giving. And like you said, super happy he's making a concerted effort to make stuff again. Dolomite Is My Name was really solid.
Yep.
Beverly Hills Cop 4, better than the third.
Nothing special, but he's really good in it.
And it's just nice to see him again. And nice to see Judge Reinhold and who plays Taggart.
My gosh. Ashton.
Yep, John Ashton.
John Ashton.
R.I.P. It's just really nice to see those characters together on screen again. And even though the movies, whatever, you can tell they really appreciated being together, and audiences really appreciated it too. I think it was #1 on Netflix for like
a long time,
3-4 weeks, which in Netflix time is an eternity these days. But as they start to make Chubby Rain, I guess like the real hook of this movie is that Murphy's Kit, the superstar character, has no idea he's in this movie. Bobby Bowfinger has about $2,000 to make this movie with.
Saving, what did he say? He put
$1
aside $1
week.
every week from the ages of 10 to like 50, wherever he is now.
And that's what he has. And so it becomes this big con of trying to keep all the other actors believing that he's actually in the movie, and then trying to get footage that actually works in accordance with the script of Chubby Rain. And that's where a lot of the humor is found, in the paranoia. I think this is one of those, the better like paranoid superstar type of takedowns, you and I talked about it. Steve Martin also wrote this movie.
Yes.
And why don't you talk a little bit about, just Martin's kind of like documented distaste towards the movie making process, and the way he satirizes superstardom and movie
Mhm.
production and directing in this movie.
I would say for anyone who wants to get to know Martin a little bit better, there's a really great Apple Plus or Apple TV, whatever that is, documentary. I think it's just called Steve,
I haven't seen that yet.
and it's a two-part documentary, about an hour and a half for each part. And the second half kind of gets into his movie roles and his journey into Hollywood after being a stand-up and being a part of SNL in the 70s and getting a real footing. And he says as much that he grew to dislike Hollywood and grew to dislike the constant chase for affirmation and for box office. He's very open about talking about his movie failures, because I think, especially for comedy stars, failures can come a lot. Like, you have to really work to not be in bad movies,
Yeah,
because
for sure.
comedies are so subjective. And like I said, watch that documentary if you want to know Steve Martin a little bit better. It's a great watch.
And talk about somebody else who's multi-talented with his
Oh my
music and
gosh.
writing and stand-up and
Stand-up.
film work and just an American icon, genuinely.
He is.
He's an American icon, and his like, not that you can call it revival, but watching him on Hulu, with Only Murders in the Building. I mean, him and Martin Short have had that relationship for so long, and it's great to see them
Mhm.
still at their like advanced ages
And they still
putting
tour.
out great work. And yeah,
And they
doing
tour
music
all over the
touring
US
yep.
and overseas. And it's so impressive to, like you said, they're so fresh and sharp still.
Yeah.
It's kind of mind-blowing, considering Steve Martin's been a part of American culture for the last near 60 years.
Near 60 years. Yep.
He started working like the mid-60s. Like, it's beyond impressive.
It's crazy. It really is.
And since he did write this, you do see his like biting, more cynical side to him.
A little bit, for sure.
That I think his characters, at least what I've seen, he's kind of like one of America's dads.
Yeah.
That's, I think, our main relationship to him. Obviously, there are movies
Cheaper by
that are
the dozen.
interspersed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Father of the Bride.
Oh,
like
yeah.
his more commercial work. You don't get to see more of his mean side and more of his, I don't know, more of his biting, like I said earlier, like sarcastic, cynical side, where he's looking at these people, he's looking at the industry and going, I want nothing to do with that. And what we talked about when we were watching the movie, it took a lot of guts to take down Scientology.
I was going to just bring that up.
And I mean, it's impressive to see a commercial comedy come out with that much biting commentary
Heat.
on
Yeah.
Scientology and kind of taking it down a lot of pegs, not
For
just one
sure.
peg, a lot.
In this movie, Kit is a member of a cult
Mhm.
called Minehead, which is, like Nathan just said, very, very pointedly a Scientology replacement. And a lot of the movie kind of hinges on that plot point. And the scenes with Murphy and Terrence Stamp, who plays the leader of the Minehead cult, those are where you get a lot of Kit being unbelievably crazy and manic and paranoid. And there's a lot of great, great work going on between Murphy and Stamp in those scenes. And yeah, like you said, this is kind of before, I think maybe I'm wrong in saying this, but I don't know that Scientology was very prevalent in like media literacy back then as it's become over the last.
I think it's because more people come out against it, and
Yeah.
actors who are in it have come out against it.
Yep.
Because I think that, like, it was obviously known that someone like Tom Cruise was a Scientologist.
Who's mentioned in this movie.
Who is mentioned, by the way. And it's funny that he what's the line? He's like, Tom Cruise didn't know he was in that vampire movie until 2 years later.
2 years later. It's like, it's going to be fine. Yeah.
So that just tells you how Steve Martin feels about that cult and the people in it. And but I do think you see some of Martin's sympathy for those people, because they're kind of taken in. These people, like,
Taken advantage of.
Kit is obviously mentally unwell, very, like you said, egotistical, and he's being coddled a lot.
Yes.
And he's like surrounding himself with yes men and
Yep.
yes people.
The
And
introduction scene with him is a perfect way to like know his character immediately.
yeah.
His agent brings him a script and he is just all over the place with conspiracy theories and violence and like violent aggression towards everybody around him. Uh, allegations of like racism towards his agent, who's like very clearly a sweet dude and trying to help him out. It one of the best character introductions for a
In a
comedy.
comedy. Yep.
It's very like clear and succinct what this character is going to be and how his mind works right away. And like you said, the Scientology angle really lends itself to that paranoia and that being taken advantage of and being coddled, in a very weird way, just so they can keep those checks from Kit coming in. And then on the flip side of that, you get Jiff, who about midway through the movie, they can't find Kit because he has to check himself in because of the levels of paranoia that this film crew is putting him through and like putting him in situations in which he thinks he's about to be attacked by aliens or abducted by aliens. And Kit is just kind of found to be a body double at first. 'Cause they need somebody for shots from behind, and they need somebody who is willing to quote show their naked rear end on film. And Jiff is just, he's got like a weird Jerry curl type of hair going on. He's got very thick glasses. He's got braces on as like a full grown adult.
His outfits are ridiculous, very outdated.
And as he is interviewed for this role as a body double, you get to see how just sweet and unassuming and simple this guy is. But in a very endearing way. I think Jiff is just an unbelievable character, as I said before. And again, watching Murphy really lose himself in that role specifically, he's almost unrecognizable, which is kind of weird to say for an Eddie Murphy character because he is so huge.
When in the sequences, I didn't mention this to you when we were watching, but there's a sequence at a diner later in the movie where everyone's sitting around the table, and I don't remember exactly what the context is. We just watched it, but I don't remember exactly what the context is. But it then cuts to Eddie's Jiff, and he does feel like, oh, like, yeah, what do you think? Like, what do you need to say? Because he is so anonymous as that character, and he just kind of like wants to blend in, and he just
wants to run errands.
Inherently sweet and kind-hearted, but also like you can feel a little resentment that his brother doesn't care about him, doesn't try to maintain a relationship. Like, he got to be the star. I'm working at Blockbuster Video.
Yep.
And that is he's a very sad but sweet character.
Yes.
And it just feels completely different from this stuck-up Kit. It is kind of a crazy performance because, just like the body language and like even when they because Martin's character Bobby asks Jiff, like, would you be willing to cut your hair?
Yep.
And so they eventually try to make him look like Kit. They try their best, like shave his Jerry curls, take off his glasses, and so he looks like as close to Kit as they can. But even when he looks like his brother, Jiff is so him, like just inherently himself.
Yep. One of a kind. And I mean, not to like get into, this scene and that, like this scene is really good. My lasting memory from this movie is the freeway sequence in which I think the first time I'd seen that, I don't know if I'd ever laughed harder at like a physical comedy routine before. Growing up on Farley, physical comedy was like super big for me and big for you and big for a lot of people in Wisconsin and nationwide. I don't think I've ever laughed harder as a kid the first time I saw the Bowfinger highway sequence in which Bobby tells this kid who he just met, like either that day or the day before, essentially, oh, everybody on the freeway is a stunt driver. We need you to run across traffic the best you can. And you got to get to your lady love right here, who's played by whoever Heather Graham is playing in this. I don't even know her character's name. Yeah. But yep, just be on the other side of the freeway and run across traffic. And the very unassuming Jiff completely buys it at first. And like the shots that they get of this guy running across traffic and the look on his face of pure terror
when
and
he's
Heavenly God.
like they cut immediately to him, like just like frozen, just like on the wall of the
Pure
highway.
fear. Yeah.
Yeah, scared, just like pure fear in his eyes. It's
Yep.
so perfect.
And just him like getting across safely and then breaking down weeping. Heavenly Father, Heavenly God, Heavenly God. And then the one quick shot of like, we need you to do it again, buddy.
Yeah.
Just like pouring sweat and running across. Again, some of the best physical comedy I've ever seen. And Eddie, I mean, he's known for physical comedy in a different
Mhm.
type of way. But again, usually Eddie's playing super confident characters.
Like,
you
he's
know, he's playing the
sometimes
action
I
star.
was just gonna say he's sometimes like an action star. He's
Yep.
tasked with being like literally physical, like
Yeah.
running here to there.
Yep.
You know, holding the gun.
Yeah.
You know, so being imposing and not like being like undeniably imposing. Like you
Yeah.
can you could see that in him. Where here you're like this goofball is being tasked with running across like midday LA highway.
Full traffic.
Right, like full
like
traffic.
busy traffic.
Like as bad as traffic can be without like being standstill. It's like like cars just zooming by.
Yes.
And that scene is so perfectly shot and acted, and it's probably the most famous scene of the movie.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I would say.
Yeah, I agree. We did bring up other members of the cast. Heather Graham is great in this, like the starlet kind of off the bus from Ohio. I've given myself 1 week to become a star. And she does make the best out of that week. She's great in this. Nathan and I have a soft spot for Jamie Kennedy. Your mileage may vary with Jamie, but Jamie Kennedy is good in this.
Very understated. Like,
Yeah.
is this the most like even-keeled
Normal
Jamie Kennedy performance of
for
all
sure,
time?
probably.
It might be.
As far as I know, not that I'm a expert on his
Me either,
filmography, but
he usually plays it so big.
yes, and he's like one of the only smart people in the crew that's kind of like seeing through the charade.
Mhm.
And he is in the know with Bobby. He's like the only one that Bobby trusts enough to let him know like this isn't exactly legitimate what we're trying to achieve here. And Jamie's great in this. Again, Robert Downey Jr. has a small role in this movie as Hollywood producer Jerry Renfro. The scene with Martin and Downey meeting at lunch is one of our favorite scenes.
Because Bobby's trying to impress him, saying, "Oh, we have Kit. Like we can get him into our indie, basically,
Yep, yeah.
and so we need the studio to back us."
Yep.
And Bobby has the telephone he ripped out of the car phone and is holding it like a cell phone.
Still
and,
has the cord on it.
Right. And like really he's listening to whatever Jerry's saying and going like Jerry's saying, "Oh, it's an international picture." And then Bobby goes, "Oh, yeah, we need someone international.
We need an
it's an
international star."
Right.
Yeah.
And that's it feels almost improvised with how Martin is and how, dumbly confident he is. Like he's
the way he walks into that restaurant is like the most confident you see him in that movie. He's got his like chest puffed out. He knows who he has to pretend to be in that industry to get some attention, but then immediately fails. And I love Downey at the end of that scene. What was that? It's just the most ridiculous setup. But he does tell him, you bring me this script with Kit Ramsey, you got yourself a go picture, Bobby. And from there, that's when the movie really kind of starts. But yeah, this was in the middle of Downey's attempt to bring legitimacy back to his career after multiple stints in rehab and multiple issues. And he's not in this movie much, but you can tell he's doing well. He's healthy,
having fun,
and he's having a little bit of fun. Yep, his character is kind of a nondescript Hollywood douchebag.
You know what's funny? We didn't quite put it this way, but this is something I just thought of. He kind of fast tracks or puts on the fast track his fast talking ability into this. Obviously, I'm sure he did this in his prior stint with comedy and dramatic film work.
Yep.
But man, like you can really draw a clear line from this to Zodiac to Kiss Bang Bang, especially to Tony Stark, where he is such a great fast talker And talk about a confident actor.
Yeah.
He's also just super confident in real life. Like,
Yes.
he
100%.
just exudes confidence in all of his movies.
More so than a lot of other stars of our time, I
Mhm.
think. A lot of stars like Brad Pitt, for example, like there's like an insecurity there
Yes.
that you'll never find in Downey.
He doesn't play it well.
No.
I don't think he can really play it well. The one time he does, he does win an Oscar for it in Oppenheimer.
Yep.
He can do it, but he's also still using his fast talking, like twitchy
Yes.
abilities very well.
And I would say that Kiss Kiss Bang Bang kind of falls into that because that character is kind of a dummy.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a certain level of like stupidity that like I can remember Gay Perry is played by
Kilmer.
And that dichotomy in that movie is incredible, with Kilmer being way more intelligent
Yes.
than Downey's character in that movie. R.I.P. to Val. But it's really fun to see Downey in any form.
Yes.
And again, not in this movie much, not given much to do, but when he is, he pops, as always, you know? Probably the biggest name coming out of this movie for the next 20 years.
Absolutely.
Because Murphy kind of tails off for a bit, and Martin had already had his heyday and his big prime, so to speak. But yeah, as the movie continues, you know, Kit's paranoia rises as Jiff's like genuine love for this crew rises too. He falsely assumes that these people really love him for who he is. And kind of a heartbreaking, sweet scene that like is one of the only moments where Bobby Bowfinger is like, "Did you hear him? He said he loved us. He's an innocent. What are we doing?"
He finally kind of starts to realize, like, oh, I'm kind of playing with people's emotions here. Like, people who trust me.
And love me.
Right.
And like genuinely like love the opportunity they've been given by me. And I'm like kind of taking that for granted. But this movie has a very quick pace to it.
It really does
moves.
It does not slow down one bit.
Yeah. There's no wasted scene, no wasted moment with character, no wasted character arcs. Heather Graham has her arc of kind of screwing her way to the top.
Like opportunistic.
Very
opportunistic. Like
opportunistic.
looking at people who can get her ahead in this like crappy B movie.
Yeah.
It's very smart for Martin to put that character in.
For sure. You have, especially coming off of Boogie Nights, like you mentioned. You have Bobby's arc of like starting off as like this kind of awful dude and then finding a little bit of humanity. You have Kit becoming a little less paranoid and a little more, at least by the end, he's reconnected with his brother.
Yeah.
The only character that really doesn't change is Eddie's Jiff. He's just sweet and loving the whole time, no matter what. He's bought in no matter what.
The one thing that is very sweet for Jiff is by the end, after the movie premieres, Chubby Rain, to a huge like red carpet premiere,
like in a raucous applause,
right?
Somehow,
it's at, like,
which it would never
the
get
biggest
in real
theater in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jiff at the very end when there's this joke put in the very beginning that like Bobby has this vision of like a FedEx truck coming to his house and handing him a package,
a script,
and a script. And there's this great sequence at the end when they're all having like a wrap party at the end, like after the premiere of their movie. And it's like a slow motion. The car pulls up. The driver just opens the door and comes in and hands the package to Bobby. And Bobby opens it and said, "Oh my gosh, like they want me to make a movie with Kit Ramsey's brother in Taiwan." And that's a really great like opportunity for Jiff and for Bobby to continue their partnership. And
in a more
Jiff becomes like a B movie star.
Yep.
So he becomes a star in his own right.
Yeah, which is great because he kind of deserves that more than any character in this movie. I don't really. A lot of the actors in this movie didn't do a lot of work after this, or if they did, it was very nondescript work. But I do have to say that the actress who plays...
Is it Christine Baranski?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Christine Baranski, who most people, like you said, will know from How the Grinch Stole Christmas
like
or The Big Bang Theory.
Gen Z millennial, yes.
Yes. She's great in this, legitimately. And every time I see her character, she's like very self-serious, like method theater actor, who at the beginning of the movie gets a a shot to go do something legitimate,
Hmm.
and Bobby kind of cons her into staying on. She's like the only actual actor that he can
Hmm.
find. She's great in this, and again, most people are gonna know her from Big Bang Theory. I didn't know
Yeah,
this. She
I
got
didn't know that either.
nominated for 4 Emmys for her work on that show, which is not a show I've ever enjoyed or will try to enjoy. But I'm sure a lot of people will recognize her from that. Again, a lot of the third act of this movie is kind of a big action set piece with a ton of
Hmm.
movement. It's very kinetic in nature, as Kit kind of has like his like final breakdown.
And like kind of buys into this whole alien plot finally, because I think his mind has just been degrading after a while. He's like, because all the actors that are in Bobby's movie keep coming up to him, and like now there's like special effects happening
Yep.
where a guy's arm falls off and is like gooing,
Yeah,
like
it's
gooey
like
stuff's coming
yeah.
off of his head, and there's like violence. People are dying supposedly,
Yep, and
and so he's being caught up in all of this, and eventually, in like the the climax point of the third act, before the last like 15 minutes, he hops in the car
I'm
with
Keith.
Daisy.
I'm Keith.
Yeah, and then fully buys into it as they go into the observatory.
The Griffith
Yeah,
Observatory, which is a huge Hollywood landmark. You've seen it in a million movies, and it's going to be in a million more. Most famously for me in La La Land, in that planetarium
Yes.
sequence. But it's been in everything. It really has been. Yeah, I can only imagine how many movies it's appeared in
Oh,
now.
a lot.
About 100. But as he fully buys in, they go to Griffith Observatory, and the whole movie is kind of hinging on one last shot. And funnily enough, when Downey Jr.'s character Jerry reads the script, he reads the first line of it, flips all the way to the back, nothing in the middle, and it's like, "Gotcha, suckers. All right, I can see the poster." And that's the only shot they need.
Uh-huh.
And the set piece that they build in order to like get him to that point is really funny and really creative.
Mhm.
As Heather Graham is like coming in and out of character, like she becomes a director in that scene.
You gotta say, "Got you, suckers."
Just
Link goes down.
pops down. Yeah. Again, we're not gonna like wax poetic about what this movie is in a plot way. Really, this is one of the most clever takedowns of Hollywood culture. It's a clever takedown of Scientology. It has unbelievable star power. It's clever. It's well directed. It's not heavy-handed in any type of way,
No.
direction-wise. Again, Frank Oz is a American icon himself, as we said at the beginning. And he has a really light but deft touch here.
Yes. Same
And
same touch he has, even though it's a little darker in What About Bob.
yes,
Like
100%.
a little bit darker. I think the touch here is very akin to another Steve Martin movie he directed, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Oh, I haven't seen that actually.
Very underrated comedy.
I'm gonna have to get into
very
that.
good.
Yeah.
And one of Steve Martin's better commercial roles. He's fantastic in it. But another con man movie.
Oh, very cool.
Very akin to that kind of biting but yet funny tone
Yeah, for sure.
is reflected in that movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna check
You'd really
that
like
out.
it.
Yeah, I'm sure I would.
Mhm.
Before we close, this is gonna be one of the shorter episodes, to be honest with you. Comedy, Nathan and I, we always talk about this off camera. Really hard to pod about unless we just go scene by scene, and then this happened, and that was funny, and that was funny. So I think we're trying to focus more on character and direction and the cast. And this movie has all of that.
Mhm.
It really does.
And then some.
And then some. I do love, after the premiere, seeing the movie that they make.
Perfect. Perfect.
Fake purse ninjas. You get a shot of like people putting like fake Gucci logos on, like super gluing, fake Gucci logos
It's like a
on
sweatshop.
stuff.
It's like a Taiwanese sweatshop
Sweatshop.
that is being like the nefarious Taiwanese sweatshop that's producing these purses. And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, the shot of Jif's character in like a ninja comes in and there's like smoke around him and he's holding like these ginormous guns,
That he immediately-
huge guns that
They're like bigger than him.
and then he throws them off and is screaming and yelling at the other ninjas that are coming for him. And oh my gosh, the perfect direction of him, like B-movie action where like you can clearly see stunt people just falling over or flipping and fake hits and
But
punches.
like turned up to 100.
Yes.
He's like 3 feet away when he throws punches, and these people are flying all over the place, and he's like stepping on people's necks and breaking their necks, and it's just unbelievable. Again, as you get to know Jiff, it's like he's the sweetest dude ever, and that's the reason he can't do action convincingly. You can tell he doesn't want to hurt anyone around
No,
him,
no.
both like emotionally or physically. So all of these punches are 3, 4 feet away as people are on wires flying all over the place. They get the camera caught in a
In the mirror.
mirror.
Jeff, run.
Go, go, go.
And they leave it in the movie. It's perfect.
Yeah. And then you get Steve Martin, who Bobby has made himself an actor in this movie. And, they like clasp hands. He's like, nice to see you again, brother. Like, these guys could never be related ever, but it's just like the perfect dumb way to bookend this movie and to
Those characters realize their dreams.
yeah, they're all still in it together.
It's like the acting troupe is together. Bobby gets to be the actor he always wanted to be while also directing. It's like everyone is realizing their potential in like this awful movie that probably no one will ever see, but it makes them happy. And they're happy.
I really do think the fake purse ninjas was kind of like a Beverly Hills Ninja knockoff
I
a little
literally
bit.
thought of the exact same thing. Like even like the set design and like how it looks.
It does look a lot like the Chris Farley starring movie Beverly Hills Ninja.
Like it's weird.
It's a few years after that movie. Yeah, I think they probably saw that movie like that's an awful movie. That's perfect fodder
like
for this.
Big comedy star, big bomb. Like
yeah.
So we have affection for that movie in our own way.
I do have a certain level of affection for it, but it's not a good movie at all.
It's probably.
And Chris knew that too, unfortunately.
Worst starring movie.
Chris really didn't like that movie.
Yeah.
But that movie, kids loved that movie. I loved that as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny to see this movie. I really do think Bowfinger saw it. Like I think either Frank Oz or Martin saw that movie. And I'm like, ooh, that's ripe for parody at the end of this movie. And like you said, the staging and some of the direct. I mean, Farley was a lot more physically intimidating, and he's actually good at some of that. The physical combat and the action in that movie, unlike Jiff. But just an interesting bookend and an interesting parallel. And we might be completely making that up. They might have nothing to do with each other.
I thought, whenever I see that, I think of the same thing, though. It does remind me of Beverly Hills a little bit.
And I mean, in closing, really, Bowfinger has it all, in my opinion. It's whip smart. It's got star power. Again, in my estimation, I do think this is the best one actor playing multiple role movies in a comedy ever. I think Eddie is just perfect in this. And I grew up on Eddie. You grew up on Eddie. All of America, it seems, has grown up on Eddie Murphy. And, every time I watch this movie, I just fall in love with both these characters a little more. The extremes of both of them are just perfect. And it's paired with all this weird industry stuff. You have Jamie Kennedy stealing gear, and you have Bowfinger stealing people's credit cards to buy more film. And the serious method actor paired with like this awful hunk actor. And yet, every character feels very, I wouldn't say lived in, but very appropriate for what this movie is. And in their own ways, they're all this is a great satire in its own way.
It is.
I don't think you can label, this isn't like a pure satire, but there's a lot of satirical elements to it that really stand the test of time. Frank Oz is clearly having fun. Martin clearly had fun writing this.
Frank Oz's last great movie.
Yeah.
He had I think he directed like 8, 9 films. This is probably my favorite. Next to What About Bob and Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, for sure. That really holds up over the years too. I need to rewatch that. That's been a long time. But yeah, between What About Bob and this, I have a hard time picking. But What About Bob is a movie we're gonna have to get into eventually.
Yes.
A lot of fodder there. But yeah, I mean, kind of a shorter episode. Again, comedies are kind of hard in terms of keeping it fresh and keeping it moving. But if you have not seen Bowfinger, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's 96 minutes. It really flies by. And it is one of the most clever movies I've ever seen. I genuinely mean that. I think this movie is unbelievably smart for how dumb it is.
It is.
And Do you have any final thoughts on Bowfinger you want to get out there?
One thing that I thought about that I needed to mention for like weeks now, thinking about this, is another 1999 classic that me and you have seen that is eerily similar, but not on the same filmmaking scale is American Movie.
For sure.
One Wisconsin-born filmmaker, Mark, I forgot his last name. It's his documentary from 1999, and it's like one of those documentaries that kind of broke through
Yeah.
and is still really present today, and one of the best comedies of all time, in my opinion. It is hilarious. And another movie about people trying to realize their dreams, no matter how ridiculous it may seem, no matter how low the budget.
Yeah.
And it's really cool that those two movies came out in the same year and are kind of acting on similar comedic wavelengths. Obviously, one is not meaning to be.
Yeah, one very unintentional.
Right.
Yeah.
But those two movies make a really good pairing, in my opinion. And yeah, that's something I thought I'd mention as like another recommendation.
No, that's a great call. I think that'd be a great double feature, to be honest with you. Thematically, they line up in a very weird way. And yeah, I was late to the game on American Movie.
Me too.
That movie is unbelievable. I actually bought it on 4K. I need that's how much I love it. It's not a visually stunning movie by any stretch of the imagination.
But a testament to like the creative journey of
Oh my
people,
gosh.
no matter how big or small, and
Yep.
a guy trying to realize his dreams, a la Bobby Bowfinger.
Bobby Bowfinger, yeah. But again, thank you all for continuing to watch. Thank you for 1,500. That's a cool number to hit. And happy 4th of July. This will probably go up after the 4th of July, to be honest with you, but hope you all stayed safe. And please check out Bowfinger. It is going to be worth your time. Thank you very much.